I have been muted this whole time,
Oh,
so I'm gonna start over, I'll be super quick about it. So I've been muted this whole time, so called me to order. For the board of directors meetings, we are going over logistics on voting because our bylaws have both, have private voting, but that is not allowed for open meeting law. That's a summation of all I just said. I just said it very long-winded as you all met me. So the very first part of the board of directors meeting is the call for the vote of president. I have to read something for the bylaws, but I am gonna do a little bit of additional reading. So that everyone is aware of why we're going through this process, and it is part of the bylaws. Of course, if the board does want to talk about any of these bylaws in the future, the board is welcome to create an ad hoc committee about bylaws. So in the January meeting, the president shall be elected first. The head librarian shall read the names, read the section 4.5, which I'll do in a moment, of the rules, and then shall announce the names for those members who are nominated for president. For the sake of new members, each candidate shall identify him or herself by a simple gesture as his or her name is announced, without speeches from candidates or any further comment. Head librarian shall then call a vote in the following manner. I call the vote for the most senior member of the, I'm gonna summarize because this is very long. I call the vote for the longest serving member first, and then I call any subsequent names. So, for section 4.5, the president. The president shall preside at all board meetings, shall authorize calls for any special meetings, shall appoint all committees and designate all chairs excepting the financial committee, shall appoint a liaison to the Friends of the Worcester Public Library, a liaison to the Worcester Public Library Foundation, shall prepare annually a written report to be included with the library's annual report, shall serve as ex officio without power to vote on all committees, and shall perform all other duties as the board may require. At the last board meeting, there were two nominations in front of us. I'm gonna first ask David Dominguez to acknowledge himself by a simple gesture of wave. Thank you. And next I'll ask Stephanie Pasha to identify herself by a sort of gesture or waves. So now I call the vote of the president. As David is the longer serving member of the board, as Stephanie has just joined us, rejoined us on the board. I will first call for a show of hands of those who are voting for David for president. I will next call a vote for a show of hands of those calling Stephanie for president. All right, thank you all very much. All right, so with that, my reign of terror ends. You may sit wherever you want. I do have to go hand the gavel to Stephanie, who may bang it to be officially the president.
Do the bylaws require?
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't take this moment from me.
Yes.
I don't even know. I don't know.
You need to pull that out.
The next would be the reading of the vice president.
The vice president shall perform the duties and functions of the president in the absence or disability of the president, and shall perform such other duties as the board may require. We had one nominee for vice president at the last meeting. That was Laura Miller. By show of hands, all in favor of approving Laura Miller the role of vice president? Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Stephanie, can you speak up just a little bit?
Yes, I can. I'll use my theater voice. Thank you. I'm forgetting that we're being recorded, clearly. The next item of business is to vote for the financial committee.
Secretary.
Yep, secretary. The secretary is responsible for recording of minutes of all board meetings and for signing them, for keeping a record of all proceedings of the board, for the custody of all papers which shall remain in the library. Notices shall be issued in the name of the secretary, who shall perform such other duties as the board may require. In the absence of the president and vice president, the secretary may preside at board meetings. We have one nominee for secretary. It is Roseanne. All in favor? Very well, thank you. Congratulations, Roseanne, and thank you for being willing to serve. Treasurer next or finance committee next?
Next is treasurer.
Okay. I don't have the treasurer job description with me because I printed one side.
Yeah, so the treasurer shall serve as chair of the financial committee. In the absence of all other board members, the treasurer may preside at board meetings. This vote is done with your secret ballot. That isn't secret because we're a public board. So on the sheet that says your name and then the role should say treasurer. You are to choose one person. The only nominee last time was Matthew No. And other than that, you can vote as you see fit, and then please pass it to the end. You can pass it upside down if you feel that it needs to say. And I will tally the votes.
It doesn't really matter.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that was.
Unanimously, Matthew.
Congratulations, Matthew. For being willing to serve.
Next is the recording secretary. I will read the recording secretary, but I will say that we have offered the position to an internal candidate who has accepted the position, but we also had additional internal candidates apply for the role. And so we are finishing up telling the internal, 2 out of 3 of them have had meetings with me and Peggy to talk about their no, because they're internal, so we have to sit down and talk to them. It's the right thing to do. We won't announce the employee at this meeting, but we will have them to vote at the next meeting as our recording secretary. But as processes, the recording secretary who is not a board member shall be appointed annually by the board at the shall be responsible to the board secretary for board minutes, shall take minutes of the board at a board meeting, shall forward the first draft of minutes to the board secretary with dispatch after the meeting, shall prepare the minutes for the board secretary's signature and distribution to the board. This is also the position that does all of the board meetings. We will meet that person at our next board meeting.
Very exciting, thank you. I think that brings us to the finance committee.
Mhm.
Okay,
To just get to the back to read anything for this.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So in reference to the finance committee, do we also select the treasurer or 2 separate people?
Yes, I should be ineligible on this one now, because I can't be both a member and treasurer.
Okay.
So I will read the section for the financial committee next. 2 members shall be elected to the financial committee by ballot. The president will call for nominations, allow nominees to speak briefly, then the president will direct members to vote by writing names of 2 different members. 1 name of each on 2 separate ballots. We're not doing that because I didn't read that sentence. I do have a second ballot, but that'll be a lot of work. And majority shall be immediately seated on the committee in case of a tie. There will be an additional vote, which is why I have additional things here.
okay. Do we have nominees or self-nominees for the finance committee?
I had submitted my interest in continuing to serve on the finance committee to Matthew,
Excellent,
so I'm one nominee.
thank you. Controls the purse strings, it's a fun committee.
Learn about the green fund.
Matthew runs a tight ship.
I will nominate myself.
Marvelous, thank you.
There's each.
Christina.
You'll nominate Christina,
Yes.
fabulous. Would any of the nominees like to speak about their interest?
So I didn't hear the first one that Roseanne nominated. Who did you nominate?
Myself.
Oh,
Self-nominated.
so you got 2 jobs.
So I've been on the finance committee previously. I'll just briefly say been very interesting because you learn about the endowed funds at the library and what kind of, how we make decisions through Matthew's great direction about how the library will utilize those funds. Am I right about that? So it's a kind of an interesting position. Okay.
Roseanne, can we have, I shouldn't say Roseanne, Madam President, can we have one person holding two roles on the board?
Yes,
We can.
Except for you.
certainly, I'm ex officio.
Yeah.
So Roseanne will be serving as a member, not an officer.
No, right, I'm not any, just a member.
Can I ask who else was the second person this current year?
We were down 1%.
Oh, you were.
This year was interesting. Moses Carr was,
Yes.
and then when he had to leave the board, then
Bill.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Thank you. Would you like to make any comments on your candidacy?
Sure. So in my career, both in private and public sector, I have worked a lot with budgets, and so budgets are very familiar with me. Give me any numbers, I can probably add them in my head, but that doesn't qualify me. But I take budgets very seriously, as well as I'm on a few boards and I do oversee the budgets and the financials, and especially smaller boards when they don't have the tools. I create them for them, so I would love to be on the finance committee.
Excellent, thank you. And Kim?
I will just keep it brief because I think we have two wonderful candidates who I will likely be voting for. But just to let you know, I do need to use a calculator. I cannot add things in my head. And through my work in libraries, I have managed a library budget before as interim dean. So I do know my way around a budget, but again, just looking to be of service. So if there's a better place for me, that's okay.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right, so in front of you, you have a ballot. Please check two names, hold it and hand it to me, and then you'll sit in awkward silence while I have tabulate it.
It should be.
I couldn't remove it until you were voted, so that's why you're still on the ballot.
No, I'm. That's just really good.
Wait, one.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think that question comes up every time.
Yeah, it does. The author, this is for me, this, as you all stare at me. The top two votes go to Christina with the most votes and Roseanne with the second most votes.
Wonderful, congratulations. Thank you for the service. Thank you, Kim, for stepping up. Just silence. Okay. Ready to move on with business?
Most certainly. The service staff meeting back at 5:30, so I didn't think they need to sit through the voting.
Yeah, thank you. And eyes open. If somebody else sees them first, please beckon them in. Welcoming arms. The first item on the agenda now is the approval of the minutes from the December 16th, 2025 meeting, which is in your packet. Do I have a motion to accept the minute?
I motion.
Is there any discussion on the minutes? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes as submitted? Any nays? Hi, welcome. Okay, the minutes are approved. Ron, you are exactly in time.
Just finished voting.
Fortunately, none of them were off by one, so we don't have to do them all. All right, I will make brief remarks while we wait for our other guests. For those of you who are familiar with my style, I do in fact have a poem for us this evening. You thought yours escaped. This one is called For Alex Pray by Amanda Gorman. Yet our greatest threat isn't the outsiders among us, but those among us who never look within. Fear not those without papers, but those without conscience. Know that to care intensively united is to carry both pain, dark horror for today, and a profound daring hope for tomorrow. We can feel we have nothing to give and still beloved this world, waiting, trembling to change. If we cannot find words, may we find the will. If we ever lose hope, may we never lose our humanity. The only undying thing is mercy, the courage to open ourselves like doors, hug our neighbor, and save one more bright and possible life. The words from Amanda Gorman. It's been a heavy week. So I'm glad we're all coming together in a space of belonging and connectedness. Since we have a couple of new faces here tonight, and some of you are new faces for me, selfishly, I would love to do quick introduction. You can tell me who you are, what your day job is if you have one, or was if you're retired, and I'm so jealous, and maybe what's a favorite book you've read recently that you'd like to share with us. Ron?
My name is Ron Waddell. My day job is making sure Joshua and Isaiah, my sons, don't drive me crazy. So I go to work to get away from them.
Good plan.
No, that's not a no, that's partly real. I love them, but I run a nonprofit here in the city called Legendary Legacies. We support returning citizens from incarceration. And broadly, we are building an adjacent public safety system to law enforcement to help create safe communities. Favorite book I read recently would have been Dan Siegel's Intraconnected, From Me to what he terms we, discussing how we are interconnected, even of ourselves, that we are designed for community. And one of the most profound parts of the book in the beginning, he says, you start your life as a human, connected to another human, and then we teach you the rest of your life how not to do that.
Thank you.
My name's Sheila Trapasso. I'm a retired school teacher, 36 years in the system. And now I work for the Worcester County Sheriff's Office. And it's kind of the same, school and jail. And my favorite book was Compassion in the Courts. It's by Frank Caprio. He passed away. He's the judge in Rhode Island. I don't know if you ever see his podcasts. But he's very compassionate, yes. It's a nice story.
Thank you.
And I'm Smalley. I work at Pittsburgh State University. I'm a librarian there. And a good book I'm in the middle of is a biography of Margaret Fuller. Just very.
I'm Gail Schuyler. I am a substitute teacher for Worcester Public Schools. And right now I'm reading Bible Doctrine to get an associate's.
All right.
Congratulations. Stephanie Pasha. I worked for a company called Ed Risk, which is an insurance captive for higher ed and private secondary schools. I was formerly with WPI for 20 years. And I recently read Heartwood by Amity Gage, and it was my #1 book of the year last year.
Matthew No. My main job is I'm the collection management librarian for Harvard Medical School. I also teach at the University of Kentucky in library science. Um, and a book, I read too many books. One that's still in my mind, one called Is a River Alive by Robert McFarlane. I honestly think it's basically a tour of many rivers of the world and then thinking about the argument for giving like not human rights, but human rights considerations to the natural world.
Thank you.
I'm Laura Miller. I teach at Assumption University and in the business school. I teach organizational communication. That's everything right and then the book. So I was thinking about this. I recently read 3 books by each of the authors that were hosted by our lovely partners over there with my sister. And so I was trying to choose one of them because it was less about the book, it was more about like the connection from reading a book with somebody. And so I was thinking of like the Wally Lamb, all of his books are amazing, but She's Come Undone and I Know This Much Is True, just really, and The River Is Waiting, they all were just so impactful to read with my sister, my best friend together.
Mine is.
I know, I love you, such a fan.
I'm Roseanne Fitzgerald. I'm retired from the Holy Cross, where I worked for 27 years in the advancement office and as a researcher. And now I'm kind of enjoying retirement and very involved in the Worcester Institute for Senior Education. And a book I just read, which I very much enjoyed, was Buckeye by Patrick Ryan.
Yeah.
Great read, and it's about a small town, Ohio, from pre-World War II all the way up to the Vietnam War, and a group of people that have a secret and how that secret impacts everyone in the town. It's very well written, and the guy worked on it for 8 years for being edited, which I thought was amazing. Yeah, so it's worth checking out if you have a chance.
So my name is David Dominguez. They call me David, but it's hard for me to pronounce it in English. So David is best. My day work is I am an architectural designer. I mean, I am an architect in El Salvador, but I'm not licensed here, so I cannot say that I'm an architect even if I am. I do some energy analysis on houses, which is very trendy now because of the stretch code and the energy code and stuff like that. I have a small organization called Club de Libro en Español. We organize a poetry contest in between college kids every day on the springtime. And I organize the Salvadorian Festival every year. This year, due to the political situation, was canceled, and we had to go underground and have a Christmas kind of festival. The book that I am reading is from this Salvadorian writer. It's his autobiography. He came to America when he was 9 years old, and the book is about the travel that he did coming to America. Like he started walking, then taking buses, then taking a ship, the migrants sent him back, and it's a sad but very emotive story. He came and he won a scholarship in Harvard, so he came to study in Harvard, and he's a bestseller of the New York Times due to this book. The book name is Solito, and it's the story of this little kid, 9 years old. So you see the travel, all the adventures through the eyes of a little kid, and that is very, very touching.
Thank you. I'm Mary Shemai, and I am happily retired. I work just as much as I did before. Well, and I'm cooking at St. John's Food for the Poor on Temple Street, which I absolutely love that place. And they were opened as an emergency shelter during the coldest days of the year so far. And the book that I am reading, I just finished it, was an autobiography of Miles Horton, who was the founder of the Highlander School in Tennessee. And they did education and organizing They started with unions back in the 20s and 30s, and then he went on to work with people down south that were working to change the laws around Jim Crow. And it's the story of the Highlander schools and his life, and he spent his whole life devoted to education and organizing. And it's really a powerful history that I never learned about in school. But very important work as far as the civil rights of Black people in this country. Yeah.
My name is Harriet Chandler. Most people call me Harley, Harlee. I'm retired, gratefully. And a recent book that I read, which I have to acknowledge is not at all as serious as all of your wonderful books. I'm embarrassed to tell you.
He did ride with me.
It's Mitch Albom's Twice. Mitch Albom is the interesting author who did Tuesday Mornings with Maury. It's just the concept of the book is what if you had the power to turn things, to do things a second time? How would that affect your life? What could you stop? What could you start? Is that a good thing, not a bad thing? It's a fun book, but he writes it with a sort of, you almost see a wicked smile on his face when he must be writing his books.
Thank you.
My name is Christina Andronopoulos and I work for the Commonwealth. And today the governor released their budget. And so with that takes a lot of responsibility because I operate in the Executive Office of Health and Human Services as a special projects and operations manager. I am so thrilled to be on this board. In fact, I brought it up at my team meeting today when we were talking about budget cuts on how the unhoused find this place to hang out all day and that we've had to have more security, so that drives home. I do a lot of driving because I have to drive to Boston 2 days a week and then I work remotely. So I read a lot of audiobooks, not read, listen to, and podcasts. I'm just crazy about podcasts. But so one of my favorite audiobooks that I read, and I have her book too, is Dr. Sue Morter, and it's called The Energy Codes. And she's a quantum energy life coach. And all that means is that there's several quantum energy life coaches that I can tell anybody about. And basically it teaches us how we create our reality based on, maybe ailments we have or creating the reality. And I just love believing in that and raising the vibration. And I think that our current administration should be doing a lot of this and they are not. And basically we create what we attract. So I wanted to bring that up.
Wonderful. They're certainly upsetting my energy. Sorry.
Oh, one more thing. I'm writing my own book.
Wow.
And I started last year and my intention this year was to continue with it and over the snowstorm. That I'm already on page 18 with almost 9,000 words. And I promise when it's published, we'll have a publishing party. And the first place I bring it in is our library.
Thank you.
Well, much like Gail, you can also
Thank you.
not just read your book here, but record it in our recording studio. So it's part of the Talking Book Library, which Gail's in the middle of right now. I saw that.
I finished.
Oh, you finished it?
Yeah.
It's top of the pile today. In the
Oh,
recording
was it?
studio. So
Maybe they'll call me back.
yeah.
I have changed the names to protect the innocent though.
Oh, okay. So Jason Homer, Executive Director for the Worcester Public Library. I didn't know if you were just doing a board thing or, when you guys were talking about serious, all of your serious books, like Harley, I was, like, should I lie about the, recent book that I really enjoyed? But I have, definitely needed to read to escape. So I just read a book, called Dreadful, I wrote down her name, Caitlin, it's like a Zocus. It is a book about a person who wakes up with no memory in a evil wizard's lab. Only to figure out he's the evil wizard, and he has to figure out why he's the evil wizard and what the plan is. As all of the chaos around him being the wizard descends around him.
So it's a book about the current administration.
Very much so. It is actually a nonfiction title. Yes.
Amazing, thank you. Before I turn to the staff behind me and the TV, are our guests back?
For guests.
Hello.
No,
So that he didn't want to come in alone.
Yeah, you look like he was looking for someone else.
Probably, so her mom said they were just doing errands and they'll be right here, so.
Yeah. All right, well, he disappeared anyway. All right, then I'll turn over to Lisa.
Hi,
Yeah.
no, hi, hey, everyone, I'm Lisa Malo, I am on the foundation board, I'm your liaison, I'm excited to be here, my second meeting. I work in marketing for the Downtown Worcester Business Improvement District, if you don't know what that is, I know it's a mouthful, other people say the bid, we do all kinds of stuff to support downtown Worcester, the library are our, don't tell anyone else, I know this is a public meeting, but are our favorite. And a book that I am currently reading is Andre Agassi's Open, it's his memoir, worth a read, really interesting. As advertised, very open.
Thank you. Christine Murray, the Executive Director of the Library Foundation. Love working with you guys as a board. I'm happy to get to know our new members and I'm currently reading Wally Lamb's The River's Waiting. We started it before the event and it's really good. It takes me a while to read, but it's a good one.
Excellent.
I'm Jennifer Marion. I'm the Deputy Director for Adult Services. I just read She's Come Undone back in November. I'm not a big reader as much as I'd like to be. But now I'm reading a very boring book called Being the Boss by Linda Engel, because you can never learn enough about trying to manage people. So
Awesome, thank you.
I'm Kristen Santillo,
Director of the Library Information and Public Services. I looked at my name badge because I've been here only since November, so I'm still getting the feel for things. And I'm gonna say I actually haven't read any great books lately. I've read books, but they haven't been great. So I'm still searching for the next very good.
Well, you got a bunch of recommendations tonight.
Definitely.
Yeah. Gentlemen, we'd like to thank you so much for all of your hard work and service during this terrible storm season. Amazing.
So one thing that many of the board members might not know is that like on paper, the public facilities department is a different department than the library. And that is not how we function. Every one of us help if they, it's our guys, it's not, Joel Wentworth, who is the manager of that team and his entire team, with Herman being one of the leadership members of his team, are always kind of the blueprint for how to care for buildings in this community. We were deeply thankful for the foundation for supplying them with lunch yesterday. As a small thank you, because if you were downtown, there's very few spaces that were like ready to go at 8 a.m. And we know that our bid partners are the other people out there trying their hardest. But it kind of felt like it was just a couple of spaces that were really doing a great job. One thing in particular that I'd like to note is, so at no point was Library Lane by any of the of the plows for the city. That was all done by our custodial staff. Because, you know, if you noticed, you can actually drive up to those sidewalks and actually get out, and there isn't a snowbank there. That is because of how serious they take, taking care of all of us. Even when I get here super early in the mornings, there's all of the rock salt is out before we even get there, so there's absolutely no slipping. No one takes care of us better than these guys. And so really appreciative. And Soma turned on her camera, so I feel like she wants to say something. She's
Hi.
muted.
No, I'm sorry. No, I just turned it on because I got home. I was in the car driving, so. But I'm Soma Rupert Silva. I'm the Director of Administration and Operations for the Worcester Public Library. I've been with the city for over 21 years, I think, but with the library, 10. Let's see, and a book that I recently read is Let Them by Mel Robbins. Highly recommend it. Basically, let people do whatever they're going to do and just keep on living your life because you can't control what other people do or say. So,
Can you just tell me who you tell us your name and how long you've worked with us?
Well, my name is Jose Flores, and I'm working about almost a year, and I like it, and I like to do the most hour I can put in for the library, can work 100%.
We appreciate that. Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you, Jose. Louis 70, been here 2 years, well, next month, will be 2 years.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Herman Salas. I'm the custodial supervisor. I've been here about 17 and a half years, and it's my pleasure to take care of the buildings and, you know, our staff. We got a wonderful staff over at the library, and I want to thank Joel because Joel makes everything easier for us, and we learn by example. And it's up, you know, it's our duty. We take pleasure in it.
Thank you.
And they stay extra when you lock your keys in your car.
Anything we can do and help.
Thank you. We won't keep you, gentlemen. One more round of applause.
Just actually, if I can, say something, I just on behalf of the foundation, I want to thank you guys for everything that you do for us, because you really don't have to. You help me set up for the events. I mean, I really don't know what we would do without you. You're invaluable, and pizza is nothing compared to what you give us. And since I've been here, gosh, over 10 years, really, you guys have just been a source of support for us, and I just want you to know we are so grateful for you, and thank you for all you do for the foundation as well.
Thank you.
Well, Mom, look, was it barbecue chicken pizza? What kind of pizza was it?
Meat graters, chicken bacon ranch, pepperoni cheese.
Gotta eat more vegetables.
None of that. I don't know. Not fun.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sharon.
Jason.
All right, so in the kind of interest of time, because this is a long meeting, and normally I keep my remarks very brief for the January
Thank you,
meeting.
guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I hope you had an opportunity to read the report. A couple of things to highlight, I already kind of buried. One of the things I most certainly wanted to highlight was that our own Gail had just recorded her own book, which is super exciting. And I hope that if you have an inkling to read a book, you can talk to Gail and hear about the process. And we're working hard to make that more and more available. So a couple of highlights, I did include that Linnea, their communications and marketing manager, and I worked on a story that's been published in the National Library of Korea's paper publication on March Meowness. So it was really fun to see my name in Korean on a published thing. So that was really fun, and I think Lenny and I had a really good time writing that paper. And so did attach it, the translation to the end of the report. And that translation didn't come with the images, but if you would like to look at the images, you're welcome to follow the URL on the thing and see the images, but you've seen them everywhere. So they're not anything special. The I will also note, as almost kind of prefaced by one of Christina's comments from earlier. Lately I have been spending a lot of time with the Commonwealth Department and the Treasurer, doing presentations. So I am also on a panel in 2 weeks for them to talk about services to communities for all of the treasurer's departments, including all their sub-departments, including mass lottery. So there's up to 600 attendees can attend all those, but 600 will attend a panel on libraries. So we'll see how many attend, but 600 people will be invited to that. So it's been a really weird thing that has been taken some time from my day. But it's been really fun to work with the state to share a little bit more about libraries. The cool thing about all of those presentations and panels is they are all put on their intranet, so they can be viewed by any current, if people miss it, they can watch it later, and if part of their like new employees have time to watch the different panel stuff that they want to watch. So I don't know why they asked me to do it. But it's been a very interesting time for how much the state is looking to work with libraries, which has been really, I think, invaluable for us. You'll see a couple of changes on the board packet as I kind of refine, making it more effective for accessibility features, including labeling and the new numbering of different pieces. That's to create more references for screen readers to jump onto. So I'm in the middle of that. So you'll see some of those pieces like the 2.1.1 of connecting family history. And so that's been continues to be a work in progress. Accessibility is really important to us, but there's also an actual deadline with it for us as a municipality. We have by late April to make sure that our sites and forums and services are accessible online. This has been something in the pipeline for 2 years, which is why we've been working on our website for so long. The Monday work from home day, even though my bosses made me work on a snow day. I'm kidding, we all did. I spent a lot of time building out our new website and I would say that we're about 30% of the way there. So I've scheduled the rest of the time to finish that up. My current plan of action for our website, as the person who can build this out is I have 2 work from home days in the next couple of weeks that I'll be spending the work from home days ignoring all emails and only building the website. By the end of those 2, I will be done with the first draft of it. So my goal is by February 15th to hand over the website to the deputy directors and their appointed staff to do all of their edits on it. It's been going really well. I finished the support page with the foundation and the friends. I sent the friends their page. They already got me their edits. Their edits will be put in the next 2 days, and the friends section will be fully done. So it's coming together very quickly. So I'll be giving them about a 2 or 3 week timeline to work on it so that we can spend some time getting ready to launch it in March. And then we'll do a kind of larger launch in March. Once that is published, we will then start our project on the app and have a Worcester Public Library app. That piece will actually come together pretty quickly because our vendor, I was like, we're the customer. I kept almost saying customer. Our vendor, Communico, does all the integration pieces for us. So for now, it's just been about me, a lot of kind of editing the CSS to make sure that all of the book lists that we want to appear on the website are more dynamic and less and more responsible and significantly more accessible. So you'll see a lot of cleanup in the new website. I will show you the website at the February board meeting, so that will be like the larger chunk of the board meeting will be the full show of that space. And so I'm really excited about that. I think it is been a long project that has taken quite a bit of time, and so I'm very excited to be at the end of that project. And then I think I'm happy to answer any additional questions. I don't necessarily think that I should spend any more time pulling stuff out, and then I'd be happy to answer anything from the report.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Jason on his report? Thank you.
Just one, I want to make sure, is there anything you need from us to make sure that the social services position actually gets through posted? Again, it said you need the RFP approval.
Oh, no, so that's a normal process.
Just making sure.
So our challenge right now with the social worker position, to be frank with all of you, is originally the city manager approved it for our original request of what. I'm gonna use numbers and they don't mean anything to you, but when I contextualize the numbers, they might make some sense. So we wanted to hire this position at what's called a 40P, so that's the like professional grade and schedule number 40. That puts them in line with the salary range that's expected for someone around this space. Unfortunate, and the city manager approved that, it all went through, and then as we got to the end for hiring of our last person, when we got to the RFP stage, the city human resources department would not greenlight the 40P because they had existing social workers at 38P. Which is about around like $3,000 to $5,000 less on the and so rather than wait till July 1 for that, when we were hiring, we posted without. We had a tough time getting someone to take that role. The person who took that role was someone who had finished the coursework but not finished the licensure work. And the moment she was done with the licensure work in November, she got a job pretty quickly, with pay significantly more. So we're in the middle of that kind of piece right now, so that's what's slowing the process down. And so Soma and I had a meeting with the budget office today. That was part of our conversations around the budget with the budget. So I don't necessarily have full action steps, but it does continue to be an issue because the requirements. Because a lot of what human resources is doing is looking at things within a vacuum and not full context, which creates a issue for us to hire and keep sustainable employees.
Is this the first or the second social worker that we have?
So our social worker, Asia, completed her certification and she got a new job and left us as of last week. I'm like looking like. The end of the month?
Yeah.
Wow, what a month it's been. So we had the same one for about 2 years. And now we're hiring her replacement.
But this is the first one, but we're replacing.
One position and we're replacing, not an additional.
Are we able to work with just one? Because
Yes.
a couple of years ago, we were talking about how we really needed two. Thought we needed three.
So the quantity that we're probably referencing is the security guard, the social worker.
Right.
We're good with one right now.
That's good.
Quick question, follow up to Harley, if I'm following correctly, new. Previous social worker, got her certification, got a job, left. Who we just brought in with the word, no?
So I'll clarify.
Yeah.
So we were able to get a new social worker about 2 years ago.
Yes.
Our first social worker. I'm gonna use her name because we're public employees, so it'll just make it all easier.
Sure.
So Asia was our first social worker.
Yep.
She's now that she's finished all of her certification stuff, she became a licensed social worker, was able to get a higher paid job. So now her position is vacant, and that's what we're in the needs of fill right now. So this is only the second time to hire a social worker, but we're back at the issue that we were telling the city would be an issue 2 years ago again.
And where I was going with it, Jason, is, when I haven't looked at that yet, but is our budget not in line with what we need?
Correct.
Thank you.
Not in line.
Not in line, what the budget is allocating is not what that position demands. And LICSW cannot work for what we're offering.
Correct.
And that's, excuse me, if I may respond, that's a very important point, because quite frankly, 2 years ago, Jason had his, he was up to his armpits, basically, trying to do everything, and he just can't do everything. And we were talking then about 2 social workers. And now we're back to 1 social worker. And Jason, are you being kind to budget process, or do you just not want to say that you really need a second one? I mean, I think it's important that we understand this.
I would need stronger outcomes for staff support to want to get a second one. So we as an organization aren't ready yet for a second one. So it's not just the budget process. Albeit that is a constraint of this organization, but we're not ready to have a second one yet.
Does that mean that the situation here has improved dramatically?
No.
I mean, I think that's important for us to know, because I think otherwise we're going to be back to where we were 2 years ago, and that's dangerous. I mean, we had an assault here 2 years ago.
Christina and then Mary.
So I'm going to use my own words to return what you said, and I believe you were glossing over the 40, the grade 40, that grade might not be 40 level versus 38. You were looking for 40, which was $3,000 to $5,000 more around what I heard you say. And because the city's social workers are at a 38, is that what you said? And that's 3 to 5 less. They're asking you to match that level versus look for a 40.
Correct.
And because of that, maybe because of that, you've lost someone.
Correct.
Could have gotten a 40 level social license, maybe.
Yes.
So are you challenged now? You're finding it challenged, or can the city offer one of their 38 level that they feel really comfortable with? It can just come right in, or?
So I will have more answers. So a lot of these questions, Sol and I posed to the budget office today at our meeting that was at 11 a.m. So they're gonna do some work about the rest of the social workers that exist within the city and get back to us. So we are kind of in the middle of that process, trying to work on that.
If we're all done with the social services specialist, I've got a question on the security compliance officer. Are we down one again, and where are we in the hiring process?
Yes, so we are down a security compliance officer again. Dawn, one of our security compliance officers, left for a new role. And so that position has been posted. Solma, Peggy, and Christina have graded all of the resumes that have come in. And so the position closed on Friday. Between Monday and yesterday, they got all of the grading for all of the applications done. And Peggy submitted the list of people to invite for an interview to the HR assistant today. So we are moving very quickly through that process.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are at 2 right now.
Okay. Mary, since you're retired. I could do one. a thought. Any other questions for Jason about his report?
On 1.2.
Okay.
Business support, you said that you are working with the Blue and with the cocktail garden. But I don't understand if the library is going to have events over there to fundraising, or what is the relationship that this request from the city manager is going to provide?
Yeah, so to just really summarize, the city manager has given all city cabinet members the task to be intentional about working more with small business. That's something we kind of live and breathe here at the library. So good examples are February vacation week. We have partnered with Coney Island, so you can check out, the kids can check out a book and get a free hot dog and chocolate milk still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot on your stomach, but
It's amazing.
so we already do those things like Jen in the adult services team summer reading. Every summer reading prize is like gift cards to restaurants in the area. We focus on small businesses. But because it was an assignment, you know, and like homework, as much as sometimes I don't do all the reading, but so the brew on the grid and the cocktail garden merged and now they're trying to release the brew on the grid space. So now they have this coffee shop by day and this cocktail garden at night. The coffee shop by day, the brew used to have a whole shelf of books in the center that you could, it was like take a book, leave a book type of thing that they would always replenish. And now this place that really cared about having a small little library of their own doesn't have any. So what we did is we custom made new sleeves for their coffee. So that has their logo, our logo, and a QR code for people to automatically log in and get ebooks on their phone. So it doesn't, there's no monetary problem for either organization. You know, they're already buying the sleeves. We bought stickers and they're putting the stickers on. So it's a very low lift for, I think, good return. Some of the events that we'll be doing in that space is we will be having like staff go and hang out in that space and talk about books with people, talk about ebooks with people, and just try to also support their additional foot traffic for people who might think that's the cocktail garden, that's not also where I get coffee. And it's and they make one heck of a latte with almond milk. They have this one that has like pieces of like honeycomb in it that's like amazing. But I can't have more than one of those a day for many reasons. So it's more of a reciprocal relationship than like a fundraising or trying to bring, so we have a much bigger social media space than they do, and so hopefully it makes sure that the cocktail garden and the brew stays a strong business in downtown. And so that's really where that's coming from.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, Jason. Do we have a friends report this month?
Yes, we have. So the friends report, they didn't get together last month on December. I don't know why really. In the beginning of this month was last week, we meet here. It was a very short meeting. They were talking about financial report and how much money they make, and they make a lot of money. And they are always surprised that the fax machine provide a lot of revenue because that is a service to the community, and they are planning to expand that once the new library is completely built. The library asked for money for the month of November and December because they were going to ask for money in December, but there was no meeting, so they joined all the money. So the friends provide $4,640 for support the different programs. Then they were very excited because Jason came and he was talking about the new library and all the plans that the library has. They have 80 new members, which is a bad situation. They were very happy about the success that they have at the Christmas light event. They were giving like a lot of hot cider and stuff. They have this mystery Easter date with a book that is a success, but they are not going to do it for Mother's Day because they still have from Christmas. And that's it.
Thank you. I was at that Christmas sale. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Any questions for David about the Friends report? Okay, do we have a report for the foundation?
We do. Foundation met, on, January 21st. Right here, and, it was a great meeting. Basically, the event, the Celebrate Our Authors event was top on the, report. And, it was really, again, I think we've all heard this, but they made 7,000 more than the 2024 event, probably because of you, Stephanie.
I was gonna say, but.
But the ticket sales were up, donations were up, and the fund in need was the same as last year. The raffle raised more than 2,500. So, and now they're looking for authors for the 2026 event, which will be, according to Chrissy, November 5th, 2026. You can mark your calendars, but if you have any authors that you would like to recommend to her, she's welcome to any of her suggestions. So,
So the November 5th was just sort of put out there at our events meeting last night, so that's where we're going with right now, but we still have to clear it with a few.
right. So if an
that need
author,
to be there, so,
yeah,
anyways, hopefully it'll be that date, if not, it'll be.
close to it,
Yes.
yeah, close to it, okay.
But we'll send out the confirmation, but that's the one that we were starting with as of last night.
Okay, marvelous.
And then the development committee reported that their fall appeal raised 38.7 thousand, which I thought was really good. And there was a long discussion at the meeting, and strategy about how the foundation will work with the Worcester Public Library to fund its ongoing needs, including the Great Brook Valley project. And that was it.
Great, thank you. I'm gonna back up a beat, on the Friends. I have on my calendar that they're doing a book sale tomorrow. Is that still true? So be there, be square. I think that was at Francis Perkins, which is super exciting, 4 to 7. Not to be missed. Is there any, well, do you have anything you want to add to the foundation?
No, I think the mini golf, we
Oh, the
settled
mini
on the
golf.
dates for mini golf, and
May-
that's
yeah.
May 1st and May 2nd. So we might have, I mean,
And 3 sponsors have already been secured. And they're gonna be the same level as last year, which is great. One other thing. There were 3 new trustees that joined the WP, Joe Maddock, Catherine DeRobertis, and Katie Olney. And there's 2 trustees cycling off the board, Sue Hunt and Erin Harper. I believe at the end of
the
fiscal year.
Okay. Okay, wonderful, thank you. Is there any new business this evening?
So both Matthew and I will be in DC at our next board meeting. So you are welcome to do the meeting without the 2 of us, and Tressa and Solma can be here for the library. Or if you would like to move it, it is up to the board.
When, are you out that whole week? So like not Tuesday night, the 24th,
I haven't booked my travel.
I
so
am
maybe
also
you-
not on time, so.
Yeah,
but do you need to be like presenting on Wednesday, so.
Yeah, so
Like
then-
when you travel Tuesday?
yeah, Wednesday, Thursday are the event day.
Okay. How about Monday, the 23rd? Are board members available that evening? Do we have to do it somewhere else?
We would have to do it at Francis Perkins if you wanted to have a board meeting, but it's always good to go to the board. I mean, you could also do it at Great Brook Valley if you wanted to. So.
I will still miss it, it's on my day.
And I fear if we back up a week, all my folks will be affected by a school vacation.
Mhm.
Is that true? You're traveling that school vacation week in February? So if we did the 18th?
So we're talking about the 18th of February.
Does that, Jason, give you enough time? It's pretty short lead between now and then.
Yeah, I mean, I think normally that is when the foundation meets, so we might have to meet in the downstairs ellipse, but we can meet.
I think that works for me.
So you're saying the 18th,
Okay, so February 18th.
is that what we're saying?
That's
18th?
what we're saying.
18th. Yeah.
Here
Right
downstairs.
Jason, we have our executive committee meeting, so it's a small group,
Okay,
so
so,
we could meet in the room.
okay, so we'll meet here on the evening.
Okay. Okay.
So you will see an unedited version of the website.
Okay.
That's fine.
I love me some editing.
So not about the invite.
Any other, any other new business? Any old business? And Matthew's favorite part of the meeting, do I have a motion? To adjourn. Thank you all so much, it's good to see you again, good to meet some new faces.